so much.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And want to wish a Shabbat Shalom to folks also joining us online. And we have people here in the room, of course, as our COVID protocols have been updated just recently. And so it's optional to wear a mask, but we certainly encourage you if you, or support you if you want to wear a mask. And we're going to get started in just a moment. It's my pleasure to welcome Deborah Sacks Mintz, soon to be Rabbi Deborah Sacks Mintz. She will be graduating and receiving ordination from the Jewish Theological Seminary in May. And she will then go on to be the director of music and tefillah at Hadar, a wonderful learning institute and community in New York.
I wish in Denver.
Yeah, your parents would really love it if it were in Denver. And it is, it was 2 years ago that Deborah was here as our scholar-in-residence. You might remember, along with Eitan Cantor, for what was supposed to be a series of visits to support us in our desire for a community that is deeply rooted in musical spirituality. And that process got cut off by COVID. It's taken us 2 years to reschedule, but here we are tonight. And so without much further, I want to thank you, Deborah, for being here. And we look forward to davening Kabbalat Shabbat with you tonight.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. And it's such a pleasure and honor to be back here at HEA and in Denver. This is my third time with this community, and it's really a joy. Good Shabbos. So starting tonight and over the course of tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening, we're going to be doing quite a bit of singing, sometimes singing the same thing for maybe a little longer than you generally sing one melody. Sometimes choosing to free ourselves from the boundaries of text, which, we're Jews, we love texts, we love words. But it can be really powerful to sink into the nigun, the wordless melody. So we're going to situate ourselves tonight by learning one melody, and it'll show up a few times this weekend. So if you don't mind, if you could learn this melody with me and repeat after me. Iriram ya ba 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 ba. Try that with me. Iriram ya ba 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 ba. Now me. Irirandai, irirambai, ho ho. Irirandai, irirambai, ho ho. Let's try that much all together. Irirambai, ya ba 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 ba. Irirandai, irirambai, ho ho. And again, but differently. So sing it with me and just watch my hand, and you'll figure out how to end it. Irirambai, ba 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 ba. Irirandai, irirandai, hi. Beautiful next part, listen. Irirambai, hi, abai, yariralaya, babo. Join me. Irirambai, ai, abai, yariralaya, babo. Now me. Irirambai, ai, abai, diridayo. Irirambai, ai, abai, diridayo. Irirambai, ai, abai, yarirandaya, babo. Irirambai, ai, abai, yarirandaya, babo. Diriram bam, hi, ababam bam, ho. Dee-dee-dum bum, hi, ba bum bum. Bow that whole part together. Dee-dee-dum bum, hi, ba, dee-dum-dai, bo. Dee-dee-dum bum, hi, ba, dee-dee-dai-yo. Dee-dee-dum bum, hi, ba. Hiddy-dum-bum, hi, hiddy-da-ba-bum-bum, bye. One more time, hiddy-dum-bum, hi, bye, hiddy-dum-da-ya-ba-bo. Hiddy-dum-bum, hi, bye, hiddy-da-ya-yo. Hiddy-dum-bum, hi, bye. Ho ba bo, hiddy dum bum ho, hiddy da ba bum bum ho. Beautiful. So that melody is called the Sunrise Nigun, and it was written as the sun was rising on Shavuot. We were learning all night long. This was a retreat out in nature, and we were approaching the morning service, and we wanted to sing in the sunrise. And it feels so fitting to sing that in moments where we see light on the horizon, where we see a bright future on the horizon. And between COVID cases going down, seeing beautiful faces in the room, knowing that this community is in an amazing moment of leadership, transition and leadership strength, it really feels like a moment to sing in the sunrise. So we're going to begin Kabbalat Shabbat on page 10 with Yadid Nefesh, and we'll just take a moment and keep singing that sunrise nigun and then get right into our davening. Yiridum bai ai ya ba 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 bai ai yiridum ai yiridum bai oh yiridum bai ai yiridum ba 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 ba. Hi, You know, I'm noticing this very last line of this beautiful piyut, this beautiful poem we just sang. It says, Maher ahuv kiva moed, come quickly, my love, ahuv, my beloved, for its time. This beautiful moment of all of us as the prayers in this room saying to Shabbat, I'm ready, come on, come here, speaking to Shabbat like this beloved that we're just so excited to see. There's this urgency and desire. And yet what do? We don't just immediately dive right into Mariv and start Shabbat. We don't even jump right to Lechadodi. We have all of these Psalms. So suddenly we luxuriate in that journey towards Shabbat, even though we just said, my hair, come quickly. So my invitation to us is, as we sing some of these Psalms, let's imagine that we're both in this anticipation that's so strong we can't wait. And yet also we want to luxuriate in that approach just a little bit longer. So we'll turn to page 11 and we'll luxuriate a little bit in the beautiful nusach of Kabbalat Shabbat, page 11. And I invite you to really add your voice into the luxuriation of the harmonies. Lechu ner hanena l'Adonai navia tzor yisheno nekad mafanav v'toda b'svirot navia lo. Take a moment and you can say the words on the page or the words in your heart. And join me on page 12, Arba'im Shana. Akod bedor, v'homar amdo elevavim, ve'el lo yadu derechai, asher nishbati be'api, im yavon el menuchati. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai, baruchu shemo, basru miyom leyom, Yeshuato sapru b'goyim, kevodo v'chol ha'amim, nifleotav v'dinai ki gam Adonai, olam meyon, v'dinai ayno ola, kol Elohim, ay ki kol Elohei, hamim lalilim, ba'Adonai shamayim asa, odeh lefanav, hoz v'tiferet b'mikdasho, havu l'Adonai mishpechot amim, havu l'Adonai kavod v'harinanai Adonai, kevod shemo, hirinai seiyom mincha, uvolecha tzrotav, ay yishtachavu l'Adonai, beyadot kodesh, chilum mifanav kol haaretz, imru v'goyim, Adonai malach, haftikun tevel baltimot, yadinamim b'meisharim, yismechu hashamayim v'tagela, hirinanai yeram hayam. Page 15. Adonai malach tagel haaretz, yismechu im rabim. We turn to page 16 in the middle of the page. Oave Adonai, sinora, shomer nafshot chasidav, miyad reshaim yatzilem, orzahu al tzadik, o yeshelav simcha. Simachot tzadikim b'Adonai, ve'hodom lezecher kodsho. We turn to page 18 and we see these two lines at the end of the next psalm. Lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel b'tzedek, ve'amim b'meisharim. And we look at the other side of the page. The translation is really very interesting. Greeting Adonai, who comes to judge the earth, judging the world with tzedek, ve'amim b'meisharim, and the nations with truth. I hear this word judging, and my first thought is judgment, but then I see tzedek, and I think justice. Justice. What does it look like to have a world judged by justice, humanity judged by justice? What if justice was our benchmark? What if justice was our metric? Page 18. Hiriram bayai, hirirarararayai, hiriranayai, hiriram bay, ho, hiriram bayai, hirirarararayai. Hiriram bayai, hiriram ho, harirayo, hiriram harirayo, hiriram ho. Lifnei Adonai, Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel betzedek, ve'amim b'meisharim, adirirai, oh, adirayo, hiriram, oh, adirayo, hirirai, oh, adirarai, dirirababo, diriram, oh, dirirababam, oh, Adonai malach gezu amim, yoshev keruvim atanu taretz. Take a moment for yourself in your heart or the words on the page. Moshe v'Aaron b'choanav, u'Shmuel b'korei shemo, korim el Adonai, v'ho ya'anei, v'amud anan yidaber aleim, shamru edotav v'cha חוק נתן לעמו. אדוני אלוהינו אתה ניתם, אל נושא איתה להם ונוקם על עלילותם. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו וישתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. Page 21, please rise. מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני, בני אלים הבו לאדוני, כבוד בעוז הבו לאדוני, כבוד שמו ישתחוו לאדוני, ביתרת קודש כל אדוני על המים, אל הכבוד ירים אדוני המים רבים, כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר, כל אדוני שובר ארזים וישבר אדוני את ארצי הלבנון ויקידם כמו עגל, לבנון וסיריון כמו בן רעמים, כל אדוני חוצב להבות אש, כל אדוני יחיל מדבר, יחיל אדוני מדבר קדש, כל אדוני יכול אל איילות ויחשוף יערות, ובחלום כולו אומר כבוד. אדוני למה בו ישב ישב אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשל. You can have a seat. Hi, nay, hirina ba 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 bo, hirina nay, hirina ba 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 ba, hirina ba ba, hirina ba ba ho. Diridan dirirai ai ai diridam bam bam ai oh. Diridan dirirai ai ai diridan diridan ai ai oh. Diridan dirirai ai oh. Ai ba ha ma Allah ya ba mo diridan dai ai ai Anna bekoach gedulat yemimcha tatir terura kamer hinat rinatam chasag veinot So that poet of Yadid Nefesh, who wrote Maher Ahuv Kiva Moed, would say, all right, here we go. Have we made it yet? And here we are, we've made it to Lecha Dodi. And traditionally, Lecha Dodi was actually sometimes sung a different melody for every single verse. There are 9 verses, and there are communities who, back in the 17th century when this piyut was composed, would sing 9 different melodies. Well, we're not going to do that tonight. However, we will sing 2. And I know that the second melody we'll sing is one that I've sung many times in this community, the times I came pre-COVID, and I understand that the first one that I'll be doing tonight is one that has also been sung in this community, so I do hope you'll sing along if you don't know them, if you do know them, and if you don't know them, you'll catch on. Lecha Dodi, page 23. Ay, 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 diridan, dirida, dida, yam, bayo. Ay, 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 diridan, dirida, dida, yam, bam. Oh, lecha dodi, likrat kala, diridan, dirida, dida, yam, bam. Oh, penei Shabbat nekavela, diridan, dirida, dida, yam, bam. Oh, lecha Kala, diridan, dirida, dida, yam, bam. Oh, penei Shabbat nekavela, dan, dirida, dida, yam, vayo. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, ishmiyanu elamei yochad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet ve'lit hilah lecha dodi, likat kalai, diridan, dirida, dida, yam, bam. Oh, penei Shabbat nekavela, diridan, dirida, dida, yam, bayai, likat Shabbat lechufan elcha, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם לסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה, תחילה לך דודי, לקראת קלי, דרידן דרידה דידה ימבם, או פני שבת, נקבלה, דרידן דרידה דידה ימביי, מקדש מלך כמלוכה, ומיטעי מתוך האפכה, רב לך שבט בימק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה לך דודי, לקראת קלה, דרידן דרידה דידה ימבם, או פני שבת נקבלה, דרידן דרידה דידה ידן נאי, התנערי מיפה קומי, לבשי בגדי תפתח עמי, על יד בן אישי בית הלחמי, קורא אל נפשי כאלה לך דודי, לקראת קלה, דרידן דרידה דידה ימבם, הררה פני שבת נקבלה, דרידן דרידה דידה ימביי, התעוררי, כי באורך ומאורי, אורי, שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך, נגלה לך דודי, לקראת קלה, דרידן דרידה דידה ימבם, או פני שבת נקבלה, דרידן דרידה דידה ימבם, או איי 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 איי, דרידן דרידה דידה יאללה, או איי איי איי, דרידן איי איי, דרידן בריאה דידה איי איי איי. Ayanandaya barandayo. Ayanandaya barandayo. Hirirandaya yambayo. Dirararandararumbambo. Ayanandaya randararandaya. Haylecha dodi likrat kala. Ay penny Shabbat nekabela. Haylecha dodi likrat kala. Ay penny Shabbat nekabela. Lo tevo shive lo tikami. Ma tishtachachi umatemi. Ay 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 bach yechesu ani yehami venivneta ir al tira. Ay lecha dodi likat gala. Ay beni Shabbat nekabela. Ay lecha dodi likat gala. Ay beni Shabbat nekabela. Shimsa shosaicho verachakukom evalaich. Ay 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 asisalaich Elohaich kimsos chatan al kala. Ay lachadodi likat kala. Ay beni Shabbat nekabela. Ay lachadodi likat kala. Ay beni Shabbat nekabela. Yaminu smoti voti. Veyat Adonai ta'aritzi. Iriranai al yahadish ben barzi ben ismecha ben agila. Ay lecha dodi likat kala. Ay beni Shabbat nekabela. Ay lecha dodi likat kala. Ay beni Shabbat nekabela. Shalom ateret bala gam besimcha ubetzonla ay toch emunei am segula boi chala hay lecha dodi You can have a seat. Shabbat Shalom. You know, it's really nice to really hear voices in a room. It still feels novel after these past 2 years. Thank God, I've been more and more and more in rooms of folks singing, but I don't know, there's something about the disruption of the past 2 years where I know I will never again take for granted what it feels like to be in a room of real live voices. Yeah, so thank you for being in that with me, and thank you for having me. Thank you for having me in the palm of your hand. You might notice I'm very close to the center. My back is facing you, but that means I'm in the palm of your hand, so thank you. So I spoke briefly about this line from Yedid Nefesh that says, Maher ahuv kiva moed, that holds that urgency for prayer, that urgency for Shabbat, and yet we still take this journey of the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat before we jump right into Mariv, which is really traditionally the start of Shabbat, the evening service. We say Baruch Hu, which is really the call to prayer. So if that's a call to prayer, what is all this stuff leading up to it? That's a big question. So when I think about that question, why are we bothering with this whole singing thing at all? Why are we singing all of these psalms before? Why don't we just jump in, do the thing, and have dinner, right? Maybe some of you are thinking that right now, perhaps, I don't know. But when I think about that question, I like to think back to the original songwriter, David HaMelech, King David. So David HaMelech, King David, is said to have written the Psalms that we sing in Kabbalat Shabbat, in Hallel, in Psukei de Zimra, and all of these moments where we're choosing to add extra, right? I say extra because halachically, legally, we don't necessarily have to do these sections, and yet we sing these sections of Psalms to add all this extra something. So what is that extra something? So King David HaMelech, who is said to have written these Psalms, there's this beautiful midrash, there's this story in the Talmud, in Masechet Pesachim, that says that David HaMelech, when he composed the Psalms, he began them two different ways. Well, actually many different ways, but this midrash is exploring two specific ways that King David would open the Psalms. Some of them begin Le David Mizmor, and some begin Mizmor Le David. So if you're to one day be bored in shul, God forbid, and flip through the pages of the Siddur, you'll notice at the beginning of every psalm, there's some kind of little opening invocation, and sometimes it says Mizmor Le David, and sometimes it says Le David Mizmor. So the rabbis of the Gemara, the sages, they had to ask a question about everything. Of course, that's what we do as rabbis. And they were very curious, why did King David start these psalms different ways? Why don't they just have the same opening every time? So this beautiful teaching imagines David HaMelech's mindset when composing these psalms, and I'd like to share this midrash with you. So the midrash reads, if a psalm begins Le David Mizmor, of David a psalm, this teaches that the Shekhinah, that the divine presence, that God rested upon him first, and afterwards he recited the song. However, if a psalm opens with Mizmor Le David, a psalm of David, this teaches that he first recited the song, and afterwards the Shekhinah, the divine presence, rested upon him. So the rabbis imagined that sometimes King David felt really inspired, and the response to that divine inspiration was to sing or compose, or if we put it in our own context, to pray, right? That first there was that connection and that feeling and that inspiration that maybe God, maybe the community, whatever makes us feel really inspired. And the response is to pray or to sing or to compose in the case of him. And sometimes that connection, that inspiration was not there. So what did David HaMelech do? He did the thing. He prayed, he sang, he wrote the psalm, and the connection came after. It came after. And I find this midrash so compelling because sometimes we are in that Le David Mizmor place, right? Sometimes we feel connected to God or to the universe, to energy, or to our community, and that inspires us to show up and to pray and to sing and to be here today and open our mouths. And sometimes we are not feeling it. We are not there. And yet, the song and the prayer is an offering to get us there. We can pray, we can sing, we can engage in ritual, we can engage in community, and that might actually bring the Shekhinah, the divine presence, the communal connection to us. So my kavanah, my intention, and my hope for all of us tonight is that whether you are in a Le David Mizmor sort of place today or a Mizmor Le David mindset, that the song is for you. It's here for you. And I invite you to continue to sing with me, pray with me, whether it's in response to divine connection or as a way to try to channel something and bring some beauty and connection and love and divine energy into your life. So with that, we are going to turn to Mariv. Thank you. Turn to Mariv. And we'll bring back in our sunrise nigun to get us there. We'll sing it a little bit, and I invite you to join me and rise at whatever point you feel ready. We'll sing, rise when you're ready, and then we'll daven. Baruch Hu can be found on page... Oh, we actually are not there yet. We didn't finish Kabbalat Shabbat. Amazing. So we're going to sing our sunrise into our closing psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat. Beginning with the Psalm for Shabbat, page 27. Hiridam bayai, hiridabababambabai, hiridanayai, hiridam bay, oh, hiridam bayai, hiridabababambabai, hiridam bayai. Hiridam bayai, mizmor shir leyom HaShabbat, tov lehodot la'Adonai, ulezamer leshimcha elyon, tov lehodot la'Adonai, ulezamer leshimcha elyon, le'agid b'boker chasecha, ve'emunatecha b'leilot, le'agid b'boker chasecha, ve'emunatecha b'leilot, da-di-di-di-di, oh, ba-ba, di-da-di, ba-ba-ba-ba, di-di-dum-bum, oh, ba-ba, di-da, oh, di-di-dum-bum, oh, ba-ba, di-da, ba-ba-ba-ba, di-di-dum-bum, oh, di-da-ba-bum-bum, and we're going to pick up on the bottom of page 28, 4 lines from the bottom. Odienuvon beseva deshenim ve'ananim hiyu lehagid ki yashar Adonai zori velo avlatabo hadirirandai oh baba diriram ai haba dirirayo diriram ai haba dirirayo diriram oh diriram-bam-bam-bai. Page 29 at the arrow. Mikolot ma'im, ahamayim rabim, adirim, Mishpeyam Hadir Bamarom Hadir Bamarom Adonai Hayedotecha Ne'emnu Meyod Levitecha Navakodesh Levitecha Navakodesh Adonai Adonai Leorech Leorech Yamim.
At this time, we invite those who are reciting Kaddish, if you're a mourner, or observing the Lord's side, if it's your custom, both here and at home, to please rise and join together in the words of the mourner's Kaddish, page 30. Yitgadal ve'yitgadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrah v'tzei gam v'chafusei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei v'chol beis Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba v'orach l'olam v'le'mayra, yitzarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'al v'yitba'al v'yitnaseh, yitzadar v'yitbaleh v'yitmalach shmei v'shav v'yiru, ve'elam v'kol v'chasa v'shirata, v'shirata v'nechumata, v'namiram v'amam v'yiru, amen. Yehi shma Rabba v'yishmaya, v'chaim aleinu v'akol Yisrael v'yiru, amen. Oseh shalom v'yivamah, v'yaseh shalom, aleinu v'akol Yisrael v'yiru, amen.
Amen. May the memories be for a blessing. Page 39a, I invite you to join me at whatever point you're ready. Le David Mizmor, Mizmor Le David. Whether you came here ready, whether the song got you there, or whether you still have some singing and praying to do to get there, if we ever get there. It's always a journey getting there. Hiriram Bayai Yabai Hiriranayai Hiriram Bay Oh Hiriram Bayai Hirirabababai Hiriranayai Hiriram Bayai Hiriram Bay Hayabai Yarirayo Hiriram Ayabai Yarirayo Hiriram Ayabai Yarirayo Hirirambam ho Hirirababam ho Baruch et Adonai hamevorach Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam ba'ed Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher chokhmah potech she'arim Umavir yom umevi laila Mavdir ben yom uben laila Adonai tzva'ot shemo El chai v'kayam Tamidim l'chalenu le'olam ba'ed Baruch atah Adonai Hamahari v'halim Avat olam באהבתך תשים ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד את עיניך בכל מקום. Adonai Elohim Amet Emunah kosot v'kayim. Page 44, Umachuto beratzon kiblu alehem, Moshe Miriam b'nei Yisrael lechanu shira, v'simcha haba v'amru chulam, Ayanandaya varandayo, Ayanandaya varandayo, Diriram bambo bambaya, Dirirabaran diriram bambo. Ay aralayam araranayro Ay michamocha ba'elim Adonai Ay mikamocha neda b'hakodesh Nora tehilot osef ele Nora tehilot osef ele Malchutecha ra'u b'necha Okay, I am lifnei Moshe. Ay zeli. Hanu ve'yameru. Adonai imloch le'olam ba'en. Adonai hayo. Adonai Adonai Yaakov Galomer Chazak Mimenu Baruch Ata Adonai Gal Yisrael Hashkivenu Adonai Luna Shalom Emedinu. Ushmor Tzeiteinu Uvoheinu לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו והכל עמו ישראל ויעל ירושלים. Please rise on page 46. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. איי איי איי
ויתקדש שמי רבה. ביום דברכיותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דרכו בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולם מעמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי דקודשה לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ויברו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, איי 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 עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויאמרו
So we're going to continue on page 53 with what we call Main Sheva, which is a version of the repetition of the Amidah we do on Friday nights. And just want to say that the melodies that we're going to do in this section are what I like to call Sinai melodies. They're melodies that I perceive as from Sinai itself, that like Torah, right? Passed down from generation to generation. And so much of the work that I do includes writing new melodies, right? We sang several of my own original melodies tonight, which is lovely, and it's beautiful to hear your voices. But there's so much power in Torah in taking that which is Sinai, that which is passed down, and turning it into a shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, a song, a new song to God. So as we begin on page 53, these are melodies that you've likely sung many times here in the shul. And how do we transform them into a shir chadash through the power of our voices and our kavanah? So please join me, page 53.
ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל אלוהי לאה האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון קונה שמיים וארץ מגן אבות בדברו מחיי מתים המרום האל הקדוש אין כמוהו המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו כי רצה להניח להם כי רצה להניח להם לפניו ונבוא ביראה ובפחד ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד מעין הברכות אל ההודעות דון השלום מקדש השבת ומברך שביעי ומניח בקדושה להמד ושני עונג זכר למעשה בראשית אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו רצה במנוחתנו קדשנו במצוותיך ותן חלקנו בתורתך שא בנו מטובך ושמחנו ישועתך ותאר ליבנו לעבדך באמת והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו ביום רצון שבת קודשך וינוחו וישראל מקדשי שמך ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Kaddish Shalom, page 54.
יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה בעלמא דברכיותי והמליך מלכותי בחייכון יומכון ובחייתך בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעלם עולם מעמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה השם יד הקודשה לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דמירן מיומה ויאמרו תתקבע צאתנו ואותנו חסו קודמה ובני בשמי ויאמרו יהי שמר במין שמי וחיים עלינו וכל ישראל ויאמרו ועושה שלום ימרום ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויאמרו עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ושעונות השמיים יסד הארץ ומשה יקרא השמיים עמה ושכינתו בגבוהי מרומים הוא אלוהינו אלוהים אלוקינו אפסו הנה כתוב בתורתו וידעת היום ליישב אותה אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ועמה ויארץ מתחת עינות כי נקבל לך אדוני אלוהינו להיות ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר
והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו In a moment, we'll recite Mourner's Kaddish found on page 58, but I just want to share with you for a moment, and you can have a seat for a moment. This week I've been thinking about my grandmother a lot, of blessed memory, Rebecca Korngold. Her family name was Timmerman, and they were from Romania, a part of Romania that is today Ukraine. And she was driven out of Ukraine in 1932, I think, and fled pogroms with her family from really a shtetl. When we showed her Fiddler on the Roof, she said that was what it was like, right? And I wonder what she would think today that the country that she came from that drove her out for being a Jew is led by a young Jewish man who was duly elected as president of that country in a democratic election, and now he and his country find themselves under siege, and I'm sure people are dying. And as we recite the Mourner's Kaddish, I think I bring to mind those people. Many of us have Ukrainian background in our families, many of us, and those are where our roots, where we came from, and it's terrible and tragic that people are dying there, really for no good reason, for only bad reasons. And so I bring to mind my grandmother, our ancestors, our brothers and sisters who are dying there, and along with all those for whom we are reciting Kaddish, and we call to mind those for whom we are reciting Kaddish for Yortzeit or who are mourning, and we invite you to please rise as we turn to page 58 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah be'alma divra kirutei ve'amlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'agala v'zman kariv ve'imru amen yehei shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. You can have a seat. In a moment we'll conclude, I'm sure, with a little more music, and I want to thank Rabbi Deborah Sacks Mintz joining us this weekend on behalf of Rabbi Dahlin and myself. It's a pleasure to have you back after 2 years. Lisa, what are you pointing at? Oh, never mind. Okay. And and tonight, I think, I hope if you made reservations for dinner tonight, we invite you to join us this evening after the service. We'll make Kiddush and say the blessings together. And want to thank Shira and Morty who put the evening together. Morty, do you have any instructions for folks that they should know?
There will be a hand washing table to your left on the wall.
Okay.
Make yourself comfortable. We'll do Kiddush, Hamotzi, and then we'll table our table to serve. Everybody enjoy this. It's wonderful to see you.
Okay, and I think that's it for me.
Great, so we're going to finish instead of Yigdal, just thinking a bit about what Rabbi Grunwald just shared about what's going on in the world. We're going to finish with a prayer for peace, Oseh Shalom, and we'll sing it to our sunrise nigun, so please join me. Oseh Shalom b'mroma, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'yimeru amen. Oseh Shalom b'mroma, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'yimeru amen. Adirai oh Baba, adirai oh, diridam bam oh Baba, adirai oh, diridandai oh Baba, adirai oh Baba, diridam bam oh, diridam bam bam oh. Shabbat Shalom.